What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to G-Ball Vision. Thank you for stopping in today. I got an exciting unboxing to dig into for you. Before we get started, double check and make sure you are subscribed here to the channel. I'd love to have you, and hit that thumbs up button before you head out. Really appreciate it, everyone. It helps push the video out there so more people have a chance to check it out. Let me know what you're carrying in your pockets today down in the comments. Love hearing from you guys and what you are carrying for the day. So, thank you to Real Steel for sending this in for us to take a look at. This is called the Real Steel Avangard, and this is definitely going to be out of their premium lineup, and it looks really, really good. So let's get this thing out of the microfiber cloth here. Nice packaging as always. So this is a very good looking knife. We got the carbon fiber inlay there, the copper infused carbon fiber inlay, and then we have this dark blasted and washed titanium. Looks really good combined with the hardware and the infused carbon fiber. And then we also have the lock side with the infused carbon fiber as well, which is a very nice touch. A lot of times, or oftentimes, you'll see it on the show side, but you won't see it on the lock side. Even if it's a little sliver like this, I really appreciate that and enjoy that, right? And we have a nice slim milled titanium clip. Very aesthetic. Looks great. Plenty of room under there. It should carry pretty nice. Love the oversized pivots on this. Looks really good. Nice long row of jimping there. Let's get this blade out, and we are looking at a beautiful drop point blade. It's got a nice satin finish to it, and this is going to be coming in M390, as you can see right there. And I'm not sure who the designer is of this. They deal with Ivan Bragnowitz a lot, but I don't know if that is his symbol or not. I can't remember now for the life of me, and I've seen so many of his designs. But just a really straightforward but really well done folder. This is definitely going to be in that full size range. We'll get our tape out here and give this a quick check. We're looking at 3.5 inches strong on the cutting edge and 3 3/4 of total, and we're coming down all of 8.5 inches overall. Even a little strong on that. So definitely going to be classified as a full size folder. And there are several different variants of this knife that you can pick up. Let's go ahead and see what this thing looks like in the pocket. I really like that pocket clip. It looks good. Looks really good. It's going to act just like a normal milled clip does. You'll have a tiny bit there poking out of the pocket. Not much at all. About a 1/4 inch. And that's a good spot to be. That gives you a nice amount of surface area to grab this thing and pull it out of the pocket. Very good retention. That nice little ramp there is going to hold this in place very well. We have a very unique floating kind of backspacer in there as well. It looks really good. It's got this nice milling line down the center of it. Speaking of that, the knife is nicely centered, or the blade is nicely centered, and there's no detent lash. Let's pull this out. There's no pivot lashing in there, and on a soft lockup we are looking at about 25% or so. The action on this is really good. Buttery smooth on the close. Really nice. Detent for that flipper tab is pretty good. You can really get kind of a push button on it, and you can definitely light switch it. I'd probably use this more of like a push button flipper, but definitely the way it's designed, it's got some grippy jimping there, and that does grab the finger very well. It could be a little stronger, possibly. Maybe a little bit. Not a whole lot more, though. But this thing is very comfortable. The way this is designed here, and then it flares out and then kind of recedes back in. It's just a really comfortable handle here. And because of that back spacer, you don't have much of an open spine to deal with. The pocket clip is going to be very softened down on the edges and on the top. I like how they incorporated that milling line there and this one here. Nice little design touches from the designer here. As far as the lock bar and the access, there's like a slight chamfer there, but they do give you plenty of room to get to it. Not really an issue to get to or disengage. I would say a nicer, thicker, wider chamfer would have been even better. But with that being said, it's not a cause for concern or an issue. You can easily get in from the face there and then easily come in from the side as well. So not really anything to complain about. There is plenty of access there. They chamfer this out and then they really chamfer out that inside area as well. So it's really easy to get to and disengage. While we are at it, why don't we go ahead and see what kind of edge they put on this M390. And I'm standing here trying to rack my brain if I've had any M390 from Real Steel, and I don't know if I have. Definitely 14C and S35 and N690 Nitro V. But I don't know if I've had M390. But boy, they put, I don't know what the HRC that they run theirs at is. I'm going to guess 59 to 61. Hopefully 60 to 62, but I don't know that. But this has a hell of a good edge on it. Whoo, baby. Really good edge. Just bites right in to that telephone book paper. Very, very nice. Whoo, baby. That's got a beautiful edge on it. Love that blade shape. Love that nice lower drop point. You can see here it's going to be either equal with the pivot or just below the pivot. Now, like off-grid knives, I have never had a Real Steel fail a lock test in any sort of way, any lock. So let's see if that continues on here with the Avangard. It's one thing, guys and gals, Real Steel, I have, you know, I've said in the past, if they, you know, the more experience I get with them, the more inclined I am to move them up into a very small category of companies, knife companies, who actually make knives that are tool oriented. They're meant for utility. They're going to have good edges out of the box. They're going to have solid lockup. They're going to be very comfortable in hand. They're going to be easy to carry in the pocket. And, you know, I put Cold Steel up in that category. You have to. I put off-grid knives up there. And Real Steel has made themselves, in my book and in my opinion, a spot there at number 3. I'm not saying they're the only 3, but if someone were to come to me and say, hey, I want a pocket knife, I want a folding knife, but I don't want, you know, this flashy, flary, you know, all this, that, and the third. I want a cutting tool that's going to be reliable and dependable. I would tell that person, if you don't like Cold Steel's aesthetic, you know, somebody who wants a work knife and something that can double as an EDC knife, if they don't want to look at Cold Steel, then I'm going to say go to Off-Grid Knives or go to Real Steel, because they just make dependable, phenomenal cutting tools. And everything down from into their $40, $50 price point all the way up to their $200 to $250 price point, and everything in between is extremely, extremely solid. I can't stress it enough. Real Steel does a phenomenal job, and in my opinion, they do not get enough credit. They don't get enough due in the knife community across knife YouTubers. They just don't get, you know, the spotlight put on them enough. Neither does Cold Steel, and neither does Off-Grid Knives. There are some channels who, you know, really hone in and put out the Cold Steel name, but as a general, as a whole in general, knife content creators do not give those top 3 companies, in my opinion, enough spotlight. And that's one thing I have really vowed to do. For people who, you know, I get both sides of the spectrum. People who want a knife to be a knife and to be a cutting tool and to be dependable. But I also get the other side of, you know, wanting that pocket jewelry, right? Something that, but in a lot of cases, that pocket jewelry, those real flashy knives, they're still going to get the job done. But I would say in a lot of cases, they're geared more for an aesthetic value, action value, where other companies separate themselves. You know, you have Spyderco. I would put them up there with Cold Steel and Off-Grid and Real Steel for sure. And there are other companies as well. That's a topic for another video. But Real Steel, guys and gals, if you have not checked out their lineup and you're looking for a very utilitarian knife, or if you're just looking for that next knife, I can highly recommend almost every knife in their catalog I have tried. Is phenomenal. I've probably had 20 to 30 of their knives, and some knives several, and gotten to really see, you know, was this just a fluke, or is this actually a really solid knife? And several times where I've gotten 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 of the same knife, just kind of a different version, all extremely solid and really well done. And here's another example of that. The Avangard here, just a really solid offering. They have a bunch of different versions of this. They have the copper, I think they got the aluminum, I think they have white storm. They got a bunch of different stuff, and it's awesome to see another company coming up and really putting out some solid pocket knives. Let me know what you think of the new Real Steel Avangard. Hit that thumbs up button. I always appreciate that, everyone. If you're new to the channel, we release videos just like this one every single day. Hit that subscribe button and ring the little bell. I'd love to have you here. I'll put up a couple of new videos. Go check one of them out. Have yourself an awesome day. Thanks again for watching. I will catch you on the next one.